All right, guys, how's it going? We're back. We're doing like a second part on this realism versus impressionism or post-impressionism painting. Uh, as I said before, realism uses a lot of neutral colors such as browns, white, grays, and black to give it that value and thus making it more realistic. While in Impressionism, we don't use the neutral colors as much. Um, Even black is really not used in Impressionism. Substitute for black would be a blue. So I added blue here in this apple. Notice how I splattered the paint, used blotches to give it that impressionistic textured look versus here it's very smooth. So these are the differences. Look at this banana, it's a little smooth. Here's all blotchy. What we're gonna do is that we are going to paint together this pair. So as you can see, smooth here with neutral colors. Here we have vibrant colors, not as realistic. You're not gonna see a lot of browns and grays, maybe a little bit. Not too much black, like I said. I don't have any black at all here. I have dark blue. And what we're gonna do is paint this pair with these colors that I have selected. Okay, so for highlights, you're obviously gonna need white because Impressionism, they love to capture light, that particular moment. So we're not trying to be very realistic. We're not trying to be very smooth in our strokes. We want to do them fairly quickly. But yeah, use some highlights, maybe a little bits of shadows here. So what I selected was this white here. I didn't want the pair to be as green as the realistic one. So I'm choosing a sap green right here, which is this one. It's going to be a little bit lighter, more olive color. I also want to, I don't want to mix directly because Impressionism, you don't mix really, but you just sort of layer on top of each other. So I'm gonna splatter or layer on top some of this yellow to brighten up this pair here. And then for shadows here at the bottom, I chose a darker green. You can choose tallow green, hunter green, forest green. I chose hooker's green here. Okay, it's a dark green. That's going to be really nice for the shadows. So you see, I'm not really going to use browns or black. I'm going to keep it vibrant. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is that you want to lay down the main hue of this pair, which is going to be the sap green. Okay. I'm not going to blend it with anything, just like the Impressionist did. And I'm going to just blotch colors like this. You don't have to paint it white at first, but the reason that I did was because there was already red here and some yellow here. So I had painted it white and let it dry. So I'm going to come back in and paint it. The more paint there is, the darker it looks. Okay. So if you don't want to apply too much color, rub it on the plate. And see, it starts to look lighter because it's running out. It's the same thing with printers. When you have it hooked up to your computer, you notice that when it's running out of ink, it starts to look lighter because it's running out of color. Same thing with the brush. All right, so we have blotched all this color, and look how fuzzy that looks. Look at that textured look versus this one. Okay, we are not done yet. Yes, it might look a little ugly for some of you, but that's just That's just a technique. A lot of us are used to Impressionism by now. Okay, so we have our color here. The next thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to apply yellow directly to my pear without blending, mixing here. Okay, it's going to pretty much blend on its own. So I want this middle area to be yellowish. Okay, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to quickly apply this because I don't want the yellow to overtake the green. I want this just to look like highlights. All right, looks pretty good. Maybe I'll add some more here. Okay, I kind of like this dark area, so I'm going to leave that alone. Let's start putting them here. Ooh. All right, pretty interesting. Okay, and then I can clean out my brush. Always have a cup of water handy. This is the yellow that I used. It's a bright yellow, great for Impressionism. I did use it here for the banana. All right, I want to go back on this sap green. Gotta put little bits of darker areas here, especially down here. And maybe just a little bit here on the top, so it doesn't look too yellow. See that? Almost looks like flowers or something. All right. Now we're going to move on into the shadow area. So because I decided that my highlights are coming from the top here, top right, all my highlights, white areas are going to be located here, okay, in the northeast area. So here, the apple looks lighter here. And that means that in the opposite side, this is where the shadows are going to land, and they're going to be facing this way. So highlight here, shadows over there, and cast shadows going this way. Also here, we got the core shadow here, and then the cast shadows down here. Okay. Same with the realism. Okay. I haven't added it yet, but once I do, you will see what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So we have that. For my highlights and my shadows, I do want to use a smaller brush. For larger areas, I use this one, a little wider here. Now I'm switching to this one. That's why you always want to have different size brushes. All right, we got that dark green here. We're not going to mix with anything because this is Impressionism. All right, and we're going to fill this area right here. It can begin here, sort of in the middle. Sort of, you make blotch colors here. Stroke quickly. Doesn't matter if it's not very accurate. You can go crazy, just don't go too crazy because you want to stay within this shape. Okay. So we're being Monet, we're not trying to be Jackson Pollock. Okay. Look at that, that's pretty good. And it's coming from here, going around, it gets lighter there. You can add a couple little dark areas if you want, but most of them are going to be over here. Very nice. Okay, look at that. Impressionism. Basically, it's like that. Now we do want to start applying a mixture. Well, not a mixture, but just white. I keep forgetting not to mix Just apply paint directly from either the tubes or from your plate. Okay, so I'm going to take some of that white. I'm going to apply it on this area, which is the highlight area. Like that. Yeah. Okay. But it is looking a little bit too white. And I don't want it to look like mold on the fruit itself. So what do? We'll go back to the yellow and reapply gently here. We don't want to fully cover the white. We still want the white to show up a little bit. And there we have it. Put a little bit of yellow there. See how my strokes are quick? And I'm very tempted to mix, but it's really hard. I like painting in a post-impressionist style, but I like blending, like realism. I guess that's my style. Everybody has their style. And around this edge here, you want to add some green, some of that primary hue, just at the very edge like that. Okay, same thing here in the apple. You have that highlight here, so you want to go around it just a little bit. Same thing here, we'll go around it just a little bit. So there we have it. What's going on here? I'm gonna add just a little bit of green, but light green. Make sure that you scrape that excess off, either on your plate or on your little paper. There you go. Okay, so now what we're missing is some shadow here. Okay, and what I've decided, I'm going to use this turquoise here. You can use turquoise, you can use blues, whatever you need. Make sure it's like a dark, vibrant color. All right. The mess that I'm making. Be careful. I don't want to get color on my laptop. Yeah, that's kind of a good idea though. Imagine that you can color your laptop. Okay, so we're gonna go here at the bottom. Quick little strokes going this way, going that way. See? Now, if that's too blue for you, too unrealistic, you can always add maybe some kind of a brown or dark gray, or even a darker blue, just like I did here. I'm gonna put that shadow here on under the apple. There we go. All right. I see that shadow there. But I'm thinking of adding a darker blue right here to give it that final touch. Let's see what we have. Here are some good substitutes. You can use tallow blue, which is a very deep blue. This is what I use for the apple. Payne's Gray is good. This is very good. I highly recommend Payne's Gray. It's sort of like a very dark gray that has a bluish tint, or I'd say bluish shade to it. Yeah, Payne's gray. This is very good stuff. Do we have any Payne's gray? I think we do. Let's get it straight out of the tube, just like the Impressionist. Okay, so I'm going to be in a little Impressionist here. Yeah, we do got a little bit here. You can see, look how dark that is. That is a great substitute. So we're going to add that to that very edge of our pear and sort of spread it out. What do you think? That's better. And then we're also going to do that to the apple. Don't cover the entire turquoise, just a little bit. Yeah, it might look like a mess to everybody, but trust me. All right, very good. So what I want to do now is kind of smooth that out a little bit. Clean out my brush. My water is starting to look green. So let's go ahead and replace that water with a different cup of brand new clean water. 1, 2. Okay, look at this. It's like slime or absinthe or something. Okay, so we got that. Let's go ahead and use some of that dark green that we have and sort of fill in those little edges here. What do you think? That's awesome. That's just awesome. Okay, now I'm going to go back to that medium green that I had in the beginning and sort of smooth out that pear a little bit. Okay. That's much better. That's much better. And I'm thinking of adding that Payne's gray, maybe even turquoise. Let's see what happens if I do turquoise. Some turquoise here, bits of turquoise right there. That's kind of cool. It does make it vibrant. Look at that. All right. And here, look at that. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add that Payne's gray right at the very edge here. And there we go. Amazing. It almost looks like a bunch of flowers like compressed together to create that shape. But it does have like almost a realistic look to it. Looks like I could pick it up. Looks like a gem or something. We do need to fix the apple. That's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is right now is pause this video and we will continue to fix this highlighted area of the apple, and that will be it. All right, guys, we are back. We took a little pause here. So what we're gonna do, let's go ahead and focus that camera. There we go. We don't want it to be all blurry. Nobody likes a super blurry video for too long. It's very annoying. Okay, so we're gonna work on adding the highlights to this apple. Shadows look pretty good. It's a little weak here on this end, not as strong as this one. This is what we're gonna work on. So I do have my primary cadmium red color. All right, okay, and then we are going to go ahead and apply it here, smooth it out a little bit. Remember, I was putting a little bit of color at the very edge. Even though there's a highlight here, you want to put a little bit of color at the very edge. Why? It just looks good that way. I can't really tell you why, but that's the way it is, you know. Okay, so we have smoothing that out a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna come in. We need to extend that apple. Okay, it looks starting to look better. Okay, we are kind of like going over those dark areas to make it a little bit livelier. That's better. We want to smooth it out. Just like that. Still looks like a rock, but it looks like a rock I want to eat. All right. Okay, looks good. Lift that off a little bit. Okay. I do want to remove some of that red. I want that dark blue to come back in. Maybe I'll do it later. Oh well, whatever. Okay, so our apple looks a little bit better on the red side. And now what we're gonna do, I need some orange. I do not have any orange paint with me. So in this situation, I do need to mix and blend. In order to make orange, I usually take yellow and just a tiny bit of red, because red is a powerful color and tends to override everything, okay? So it's starting to look like ketchup and mustard being blended together. And now we have some sort of an orange here. See that? Yellow, orange, red. All right, and we are going to apply that in this area here. See that? Blotches of paint. Okay, blotches of paint, but we're being a little bit careful now. Okay, just because you're doing blotches of paint doesn't mean that you're gonna go all crazy and you're not gonna be focused on what you're doing. You have to be focused on what you're doing. Okay, you want it to look presentable and nice, even if it's a fuzzy picture. Okay, that's looking a little bit better. Let's add some of that here to create some roundness. Maybe up here also. Okay, maybe down here. That's good. All right. Okay, don't want to go too far off the edge, like I said. Let me go ahead and I'm going to put this brush upside down and reapply that. Reapply that red. There you go. Okay, now let's go even lighter. We're going to go to just yellows. Okay, make sure that the yellow gets a little pale. Rub it like that. And we're going to apply it here, the very edge here. There you go. And then finally, white. Okay, I'm gonna put that white, I'm gonna put it right there, that corner, and sort of do this. Go like that, pull up, pull up, pull up. You apply and then pull up like this. And then maybe a little bit right here, just a tad bit. Remember, if it looks too white, you can kind of dab it here with a piece of paper and then reapply red or whatever color was underneath. How's that? That looks a little bit more interesting than before. I don't really like this. It's okay, but we do need to reapply some red. Okay. So what I'm going to do, wet the brush, and go back to my red. This time I want to make it a red orange, sort of like that. See that? not pure red, but more of a red orangey color. And then I'm going to go and apply it there. And now it's not as bright as before. And I am satisfied with that. Okay, very cool. What else? I think that would be it. Let's add some more red orange here. There we go. All right. And there we go. Yes, you did catch that. Now it looks a little bit better. Let's go ahead and apply a little bit of those shadows. My Payne's gray sort of disappeared. Let's try tallow blue here. Okay, so you see how dark that blue is. It's a deep, deep blue from probably the bottom of the ocean. So I'm going to scrape some of that off. I don't want it to be too powerful, and I will apply it towards the bottom of the apple. Okay, it's a little bit too strong. Go ahead and dip it in the water, get some of it out, and see it's a little bit paler now. Very cool. All right. All right. Yeah, I like it. Very nice. You know what? I think I need to put another piece of white here to match that. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. Make sure your brush is very clean. Okay. Take some white. Oop. And I'm going to apply it right there. There we go. And I hope it dries. I hope it dries. Let's go and add a little bit of yellow. That's better. Much better. Okay. And that's that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. I will be posting more videos. So this is the Impressionism, apple, pear, banana. We'll have to fix that later. We need to fix the sky. We need to fix this table here. I might have to change up the color because I don't want it to clash with this one. For here, we just gotta paint the background and the table, but the principal objects are there and they've been painted. This is Mr. Campos with the Mr. Campos Art Cellar. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure you practice your art. Come back, comment, share, subscribe.